You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Good day to you all. Welcome to the new. I'm your host, Randy Perham, and happy Motivated Monday, and happy Valentine's Day to you all. I hope you all are taking the time to spend with your loved ones or loved one. You know, if you got 2 or 3, you know, hey, that's your business. Do what you do, boo-boo. Do what you do, boo-boo. But no, seriously, I hope you all are enjoying Valentine's Day today. And hope you had a great weekend. It was a pretty interesting weekend, nonetheless. The Super Bowl happened yesterday. I'll talk about that in a minute. And see what else happened this weekend. The Durham report was released on Friday, and I will talk about that too. So there was a lot of stuff that happened over the weekend, and I'm gonna get into a couple of those things today. More so, I want to send out a birthday shout out to my brother, my baby brother, second to baby brother, he's the second to last brother, Jizzy Jeremy. Happy birthday, bro! It's tomorrow, although, but hope you enjoy your day and you get everything that you want, you know, gifts and all, and have fun and all that good jazz. And on this past Friday was my late brother's birthday, Eric. He would have been 34 years old, and so he's been passed away 2 years ago while I was in Italy, and during the height of the pandemic that was going on. I was not able to get back to the States to attend his funeral, but such is life, you know. It was very devastating, you know, and have to watch via Zoom or remotely video his funeral and everything. So, but like I said, busy weekend, a lot of stuff's going on. So I hope we can have fun today. So, anyways, let's get into the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was quite interesting. I did watch it. You know, it was the first time I watched the Super Bowl in a couple of years. You know, from start to finish. That is. You know, usually I catch it in between. Like I catch it at the second quarter and I catch it at the fourth. You know, type of thing. But last night I actually sat down and I watched it to its entirety. Passively watching it nonetheless, still, but I did watch it. But interestingly enough, over the weekend on Saturday, the in LA there was a party involving a bunch of celebrities and the a rapper by the name of Kodak Black was shot in the leg along with three others, and it's kind of like almost running atypical. Like this has become the norm. You know, when we have these big events, if you will, that are, you know, servicing, and you know, you have these parties and all these associated personalities attend these parties. Conflict happens, and conflict resolution is implemented at that point. And so you have these gunfights that happen and everything else, and you know, it's like, damn, you know, can we just like show up to an event and just enjoy the event and then resume the beef afterwards? You know, it's like, come on, you know, it's like, it's ridiculous. But during the Super Bowl, the halftime show, I would say, hats off to the NFL for the halftime show. That was pretty amazing. It was a nostalgic throwback to the '90s for me, you know, of the R&B and hip hop rap era. Dr. Dre leading the charge with Kendrick Lamar, Mary J. Blige, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and they did a very great performance. And like I say, you know, it was a throwback of a lot of their hits from the '90s and early 2000s, and so good job to them. And you know, the game itself was interesting because it was neck to neck all the way through. I personally thought the Bengals were going to pull it off. I thought personally, I did. Yes, I know everybody's like, but they played in LA and it was the Rams, and I got it. But the odds were showing that the Bengals was gonna come out victorious, and they almost did. Had their quarterback, I can't recall his name, Joe something. Had he not got injured, I think honestly, I think they would have pulled it off. And so it was the final score was 23-20, you know, and there was a couple of snafus that happened throughout the game. Odell Beckham Jr. got injured early on. I think once it was the second quarter, he got injured with a knee injury, and then Matthew Stafford, Rams quarterback, he got injured also, but he returned to the game. And so, you know, they sustained some bumps and bruises. You know, it's the Super Bowl; it's going to happen, but. They pulled it off. So Odell Beckham Jr. got him another ring, and for the Bengals, you know, the quarterback there is this, I believe it was his second season. So you know, he has a long career ahead of him. You know, he keeps playing the way he's playing. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna get them a ring over the next couple of years. So, but yeah, it was a neck to neck game for sure. So, but enough of that. So we're going to jump to a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to get into some stuff that's going to piss you off. And I hope it rightfully does. See you in a couple minutes.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
Everything that's reported on television isn't always true, but it should be. NTD, the power of truth. Now available 24/7 on television and streaming platforms.
Hi, I'm Pastor Greg, host of the Chosen Generation radio show, heard on the Truth Broadcasting Network and seen on TECN TV.com Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to noon Eastern, where I discuss today's most important issues through a biblical constitutional lens. TECN TV.com appreciates our partnership with NTD, and we'd love for you to give our great programming a view. That's TECN TV.com, Chosen Generation Radio with Pastor Greg. God bless you and God bless America.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
Hey, welcome back. So, like I was saying at the top of the show here, the Durham report was released over the weekend on Friday, and implicates, or actually spells out, things that we already knew. For those who don't sleep under a rock and those who don't have our head buried in the sand, he only confirmed what we, ordinary citizens who tend to pay attention to things already knew. That the Clinton team, the Clinton camp, Hillary type, actually was making concerted efforts to not only set up then candidate Trump's campaign with the false dossier and the whole collusion with Russia to rig the election. Not only was that fake, false, and just a debunked narrative from the left, but now we're learning that the Clinton team also embedded spies to spy on the Trump administration and to undermine anything that he was trying to get done. And so, these are things that we already knew. We saw early on in the Trump administration the turmoil of the people that he was firing left and right as he brought them on. He just didn't have people that were loyal to the administration. Not so much loyal to him, but just loyal to the administration and doing the right thing. And so he was fighting these folks left and right, and the media spun it as somebody who was just out of control and a narcissist and just wants people that's going to be loyal to him. But that's kind of important when you're running a country. You don't want people that hate your guts to be on your team, although it could be a benefit at times. But nonetheless, as long as you have a mutual, I guess you could say, understanding, mutual agenda, it's okay to have, those that might be not so much a fan of yours. Take Team of Rivals, for example, Abraham Lincoln. But anyways, so my bigger point is this. Clinton and company, whoever they may be, and we all kind of know who all these characters are: Comey, Obama, Susan Rice, what's her name? Loretta, she was Attorney General. I can't think of her name right now, but you know what I'm talking about. All these folks work together. Donna Brazile, even during the campaign portion, passing off the questions to Hillary early on before the debates and stuff like that. All of these folks doing, I can't even say illegal, but egregiously illegal activities, and they're walking around scot-free, walking around like they did nothing wrong, walking around like you and I, and people are expected to act like nothing's happened. Nothing to see here, folks. Keep going, keep it moving. But yet, let that be you and I. Let that be mom or dad. Not only will we be, handcuffed, booked, and have the book essentially thrown at us and put into prison for decades, but we wouldn't even get a fair shot at a trial. These folks don't even get to see any of that. And we have to wonder why. We have to, the elitism. I'm currently working on, the elitism is crazy. I'm currently working on listening to the book Laptop from Hell about Biden, about Hunter Biden. And if you haven't read it or heard it yet, listened to it yet, I highly, highly recommend that you do so. It lays out all of the craziness that this guy and his family, the Biden family, to include Joe, with asterisk the president, have been doing for the last 2 decades. And no one has yet held them accountable. From their own words, from emails, everything. The lady that wrote the book, Divine, I want to say her name is Margaret Divine or something like that. I mean, it's right here. It says I am working on the book. Let me get you the correct name here. It means just utter madness. Miranda Devine. Miranda Devine did a exponential job. She's an investigative journalist, putting this book together, referencing not only the items that was in this laptop of Hunter Biden's, but referencing back to his own book, Beautiful Things, his memoir of the stuff that he snitched on himself about that they were doing. So it's just mind blowing. And Clinton, for the Clintons, the Bidens, the Obamas, that Gestapo of criminals, they're just running around like willy-nilly and without a care in the world of the laws that they're breaking. And it is a wonder, it's actually becoming a no wonder that the FBI has been, dubbed the, political police arm of the Democratic Party. It is no wonder at this point. You're right there next to these people. Hell, some of you are escorting them to these activities and doing nothing. The Secret Service falls in the Department of Treasury, got it. But that whole enclave is just, I see nothing, I hear nothing, I know nothing. And once again, you and I, we do this kind of stuff. Oh my God, game over. FBI kicking down your door to take your laptop, i.e. Homer, Alaska, with a couple there. Being accused of taking Nancy Pelosi's laptop, taking all of their computer devices in search of this laptop. Come to find out, not there, wasn't even the right people. They're spending all these resources. Like, come on, folks. Like, as the guy in Network said, you ought to open a window and scream out that you're mad as hell. Because these people are running around being not held accountable to the things that we put them in power to safeguard and to protect. When they take the constitutional oath that they will dutifully uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that they will faithfully execute the office in which they are about to enter, they fail to do that on its face. Dereliction of duty right off the bat. And they fail to do this. And we, the people, we just let it slide. We just like, it's whatever. I don't care. It's not me. I don't have time to worry about that. But yet, our economy is in shambles. Our country is constantly under attack, whether it's through cyber, economic, or even through tangible goods. Property. Constantly under attack. Until it directly affects you, which it already has. You may not realize it, but the inflation, the scarcity of goods, your freedoms, your everyday freedoms, are under attack daily. We have to hold people accountable, ladies and gentlemen. We have to make the noise. We have to say, hey, at what point FBI, at what point police, Capitol Police, are you going to turn and say, hey, you folks are under arrest, you can't be doing that? At what point does that happen? Oh, I can't arrest my boss. Shit. Why not? If they empowered you to enforce the laws, those laws apply to them as well. Last I checked. Folks, we got to get together. It's really unnerving to see the type of stuff that is transpiring before our very eyes with the media, with celebrities, with the politicians, with bureaucrats, what now is permeating over into the medical domain, with these woke companies, That's 6 different entities I just listed. Oh, by the way, 7 universities or education system. All pillars of our everyday lives. Just run around doing what the hell they want to do. With no regard to the American people. With no regard to the people in the world that are not in those positions. They're just running amok, breaking all the rules. And we just sit back and just say, oh, well, okay. No. Stop the madness. Folks, we'll be right back.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
Getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate, separate and segregate. Don't celebrate quite yet, the storm is coming, Q, for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate. The values of our country and our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on these streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour and troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpents.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, but chose to just neglect it. Deflected by some breaking news, oh, we just accept it. Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, lying not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheek. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. 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 One day, one day, one day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.
Hey, welcome back. That was our somewhat short extended break. That was Struggle Jennings and Caitlin. Last name. I can't remember the last name right now. But I played the song a couple weeks ago. But the song is very fitting to today, and what we're going to go into right now is the people around the world are rising up against the tyranny of their respective governments. We see right now that the Freedom Convoy that originated out of Canada, they're now getting busted up with the Canadian police and military and what have you arresting them because they've been blocking the Ontario border going into the U.S. for the past week or so. And then we have the U.S. version starting up in Alaska as well, and down in the lower 48 here in the lower 48 states. Then we see it starting to emerge over in France and in it's another country. I want to say Sweden. But what we're learning from these freedom convoys that's unfolding is that there is a dimension, a divergence of those who are willing to comply with the government despite knowing that the people have rights to convey, to peacefully demonstrate, to peacefully protest their government in a time of grievance. And when I talk about who I am talking about in this particular instance is both the police and the military. Now, it may come to a shock to many people that, you know, you have those on the right who are like, you know, back to blue, Blue Lives Matter, etc., etc. But in the same breath, when you have individuals that are within these organizations beating on you, you know, infringing on your rights, arresting you, knowing that you did nothing wrong, you can't help but to say, you know what, I retract my sentiment, my respect for the police. I retract my, you know, respect for the military, because you guys are, you know, colluding and working with, you are now the political strong arm of the government in which we are protesting. So you are now all one and the same. A lot of people can't help but to feel that way. And so, you know, I implore you all, now I'm talking to the patriots out there, I implore you all to have discernment. Don't lump them all into one basket. You got those that, you know, they think about job security. They're thinking about their own safety. Yet, you have those that stand by and stand back, and they're just like, you know what? They're doing their thing. They're within their constitutional right to do this. I'm just gonna go over here and tinker with some stuff and pretend like I'm trying to, you know, help out. So yeah, practice discernment before you we go out there and start attacking the police and attacking the military, because they're only following orders, albeit they may be unconstitutional or unlawful orders, but nonetheless they're, you know, working in the confines of what they have at the best of their ability. So I have here a series of things, you know, to show you. And before I get into that, you know, we're looking at, like I said, you know, the unification of a lot of countries around the world standing up together in unity to push back and fight back against what's going on with mandates, with critical race theory, with, you know, illegal voting, you know, so many different things. There's a myriad of things going on at the same time, simultaneously. So for anyone who says to say that, oh, you know, this group needs to focus on one thing, or, you know, these people need to, you know, pick one thing and focus on that, yeah, it's really hard to do, because there's so many different things going on at one time, that affect each every one of us at the same time. So you may have that person who seem like they're all over the place and they're, protesting at this thing, they're at this thing, they're at this thing. These are all things that causes that they care about. And they would have to be there, to show solidarity, show support and everything else and get their voices heard. So I hats off, salute you for doing that, and not everybody's able. There are some people who can only just sit on the sidelines and cheer you on. Then there's those that can only, just financially donate or, materially donate to the causes because they, can't be associated with those things for whatever reasons that there may be. But nonetheless, the people around the world are waking up. And it is mighty, like, wow to see. I'm not going to say it's mighty funny, but it's mighty wow to see. And then you have people in these institutions, both the government institutions and our education institutions, trying to pervert our everyday systems, if you will, to turn it against us. And I'm going to show you a clip of this lady who is trying to make eating a racist thing. And like I said, this is an extended clip compilation of videos of folks around the world in the protests that they're enduring and participating in that you're not seeing on mainstream media. Why? Because they don't want to encourage others to take up the mantle and do the same thing. Because the media is going to be next. And one gentleman in here, he gives a very poignant speech about what is to come in the next, immediate future. So enjoy the show, and we'll come back after this is done. We'll come back and we're going to talk about it. So stay tuned. Take a look.
I believe we should move beyond all meat. The assumption that the best protein comes from corpses is a racist belief. How do you know the animal would have picked you to feed off their corpse? 21st century animal eating requires our complicity in a new colonialism. These events especially affect girls and young women. Your hamburger comes with a dose of misogyny. Popular culture is flooded with references to sexy cows, sexy pigs, sexy chickens, sexy fishes, who all just want to have fun. Meat eating is also one of the ways gender-based structures of oppression are perpetuated. Masculinity, a construct of the gender binary facing constant destabilization, feels always under threat, and eating animals is its protection racket. White supremacists weaponized it, eating meat, eggs, and dairy, and the baiting of liberal men as so-called soy boys are all part of the neo-Nazi messaging. To say you care about animals is considered a sign of weakness in a world still committed to the gender binary. Meat eaters, like anti-abortionists, have forgotten that one quality of non-existence is not having awareness about existence. When all else fails, meat eaters assert that animals are not our equals. I heard all your laughter. I know some of these must be new ideas, or you think they're fringe or whatever. Our whiteness is part of the problem of meat eating.
Indemnity. I want to make something very, very clear. Australia already has vaccine indemnity agreements in place, so no doctor need worry.
People who've sadly died taking AstraZeneca, and would you be worried if one of those people, as I understand it, or the family claims wasn't fully informed of the symptoms to look out for?
Well, we're all responsible for our own health. And when it comes to informed consent and giving consent to whatever treatment or procedure you may have or I may have, then I'm ultimately responsible for what people do in their health treatment to me. And there has been the opportunity for people to visit their GP, to have that consultation. The government has provided that and funded that. And the informed consent process provides the decision to the individual. That's the sort of country we live in. People make their own decisions about their own health and their own bodies.
Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett called the reports unacceptable in a democratic state. These cyber tools are intended to fight terror, intended to fight severe crime. They were not intended to be used against citizens. We will check the matter in a transparent, profound, and swift way, because all of us deserve answers.
Former Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was even stronger.
This is a black day for the state of Israel. Without referring to my issue, which of course has wide implications, I think this case concerns all citizens of the country. Not right, not left, all citizens of the country without exception. Something inconceivable has happened here.
The Israeli publication Calculus first reported that police used Pegasus spyware to hack phones of Israelis, including Netanyahu's son Avner and members of his inner circle.
Officials in the police illegally spied with the most aggressive tools in the world. Citizens were followed, listened to, exposed their most hidden secrets, and who knows what improper use was made of this espionage.
This is unprecedented. It is borderline on espionage and treason by an internal authority, and this is highly problematic.
Pegasus spyware is produced by the Israeli NSO group, which maintains it doesn't disclose clients and has no access to the intelligence that's collected. The company adds that all sales are approved by Israel's defense ministry because the spyware is used by governments to fight crime and terrorism. Attorney Jonathan Klinger says current Israeli law makes it nearly impossible to install spyware programs on civilian phones except for national security issues.
This means that the collection of data was immense and unprecedented, all done illegally, creating and establishing a database that might harm everyone else and without any legal oversight over this.
Israel's President Isaac Herzog says law enforcement agencies cannot treat the law lightly while fulfilling the law.
Whoever enforces the law must be strict with mild and severe cases alike. More than anyone, we must not lose our democracy. We must not lose our police. And certainly, we must not lose the public's trust in them.
One of those reportedly spied on is a former Netanyahu aide turned state witness. If the allegations are true, some analysts believe it could be enough to have the case against Netanyahu thrown out of court, creating yet another political earthquake. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Because we're going to be waking up, the vast majority of people that have taken the shots are going to be going through a red pill moment, not taking years, not taking even months or weeks. They'll be trying to absorb all this information in an extremely short period of time, and many of them will go ballistic. So I expect frequent, irregular, episodic instances of chaos, but it'll be sort of an organized chaos in the sense that the people that go crazy won't be lashing out. Most of them won't be lashing out at the society at large. They'll be going crazy and lashing out at their abusers, very specific individuals. So it wouldn't surprise me, for instance, to see many of the people that we now title the elite be picked off one by one by one and basically removed from this planet by the actions of people that they have harmed over these last 2 years that would be unpredictable and non-stoppable. You need to stand back, okay? People need to understand that there will be a section of the social order that is going to go crazy in anger, grief, all of this, and there will be reactions, and it's best to not get yourself in the way of those reactions, especially if you're not like a law enforcement personnel kind of fellow that's trained in it, right? Because these will be very violent reactions to having been poisoned. And some of them I expect will be spectacularly so in terms of the violence of it. So it's not going to be wise to hang out around these elite guys.
We're not going to allow this nation on the northern part of North America to go down the drain because we have people who've gotten hungry for power and have discarded the individual freedoms that you and I own. They are ours. There's none two of us the same. That's why individual rights and freedoms are so important, right? because it's you as a person, you as an individual, not you as a family, not you as a group, okay? Not you as part of some other organization, not you as part of the province. It's you as an individual Canadian. Possess these rights. That's what's important.
Non, on n'a pas eu un... C'est parti d'où, c'est quoi?
Sie haben sich mehrfach versucht, bitte nicht. Fass mich nicht an, Alter!
Thank you.
in seinem Wesensgehalt angetastet werden.
Il revient à ma mémoire des souvenirs familiers. Je revois ma blouse noire lorsque j'étais écolier. Sur le chemin de l'école, je chantais à pleine voix des romances sans paroles, vieilles chansons d'autrefois. Douce France, cher pays de mon enfance, bercé de tendre insouciance, je t'ai gardé dans mon cœur. Mon village, au clocher, aux maisons sages, tous les enfants de mon âge en partageaient mon bonheur. Oui, je t'aime et je te donne ce poème. Oui, je t'aime dans la joie ou la douleur. Douce France. My life is now or never. I ain't gonna live forever. I just wanna live when I'm alive. It's my life. My heart is like an open highway. Like breaking said I did it my way. I just wanna live when I'm alive. It's my life. Yeah, this is for ones who stood their ground. Tommy and Gina never back down. Tomorrow's getting hard to make.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You see it for yourself. Can't make this stuff up. You know, all around the world, various places around the world, that is. Just, you know, political tyranny at its finest, you know, against the people who are just trying to make their voices and their concerns heard to their respective governments. And you have, you know, police forces, you know, doing the bidding, if you will, of the tyrants in office. Folks, the one thing I think a lot of people fail to consider or fail to think about, and I had a video clip of it. I played it a while back, but I didn't include it into this compilation, was a protest, a group of people protesting, and the police showed up, tried to disperse the crowd, told them that they're not allowed to be there. And it was an open park, you know, and the police were outnumbered. And the police were under the assumption, because they had body armor, riot gear on, military vehicles, military type vehicles, and their weapons, that, you know, that was going to be a deterrent to these people. The people surrounded those cops and told them that they can either go peacefully or they can go injured, you know. So, you know, just imagine if that was on a grander scale. All these things that's going on right now. Could you imagine what the optics would look like right now if the people decided, you know what, we're not going to be peaceful about this. You know, these cops, they're running around, you know, just ad hocly beating on people and whatnot, trying to disperse crowds and whatnot. Those people just say, you know what, if I get shot in the process, oh well. But they're going to go down and rush. So just imagine if that happened. It would be crazy. But I don't wish that on anybody. I don't wish that to see that. But like the gentleman said in the early part of the video there, when the people rise up and they decide they had enough and they start doing things, don't come to a wonder about it. Don't say, well, why did they happen? Why did this happen? Why would they do that? Don't wonder, because it's getting to that boiling point, folks. Pray for our countries. Pray for the world. Pray that we come to some point of clarity. Pray that we will all just be able to just relax, sit down, come together, come to resolutions, come to solutions, come to an understanding of our roles in life. We the people empower our governments, our respective governments, through the voting process, albeit rigged and all. Nonetheless, they are in power to exercise the will of the collective. And when they fail to do that, the people have the right to air those grievances to the government to correct their ways or vote them out of office and what have you. We need to return back to that sense of civility, and in terms of the policing, tactics, hey, cops, military, remember who you work for. Remember who you live amongst. You go home just like we do. You're not walking into a mansion. You're not walking into a gated community. These are things to consider. Once it's all said and done, you hang up that uniform. You're back amongst the people that you served with, or you served for. And they will remember these days. They remember these times when you come to your time of need. They're going to say, nah, bro, nah. I remember when you hit Billy upside the head with that baton. Nah, you good. Suffer. It shouldn't come to that. But that is the reality. That is life. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to jump off here. Thank you for tuning in today. I know it was a lot to digest here in the last half hour. Well, this whole show technically, but a lot to digest. But it's something that we need to pull our heads out the sand and pay attention to, because these countries, they don't have Second Amendment rights like we do in the U.S. So just imagine how things will go if all countries had the Second Amendment and was able to just carry guns and whatnot. Just imagine. Crazy. But anyways, you could catch me on all social media platforms at rperm. You can support my campaign for Congress at rperm for US. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or a sponsor of the show, you can reach out to me at rperm@gmail.com. And see you all Friday. God willing, God bless. Take care. Have a great week.
You are listening to the Exceptional Conservative Network. For more information, go to www.theexceptionalconservativeshow.com.